Let me tell you, nothing prepares you for the way a simple flight home can flip into a test of wills at 30,000 feet, where the air is thick not just with recycled oxygen, but with entitlement you can taste. Yeah, I walked into that jet bridge in Chicago, thinking I'd just power through another routine flight to D.C. Nothing more, nothing less, but let me back up a sec and tell you, the storm that hit me that day, it was no accident, and it definitely wasn't just about a bag. It starts with the Izumi mom, my absolute rock, fighting cancer like she's been in the ring her whole life, and I'm just trying to squeeze out every single weekend I can with her, which meant flying home every Friday night back to D.C. in the most nondescript travel gear you could imagine: gray pants, sweater, the kind of flats you wear when you know you'll be walking through hell in an airport terminal, and a carry-on that's been through more overhead bins than I care to count. That bag, it was about to become the spark that lit up everything. Boarding Global Airways 1782 was like stepping into a mess on purpose. A gate agent named Mark, mid-20s, power-tripping with a walkie-talkie barking orders like he owned the place, telling me to put your bag in the sizer, ma'am, with a look that said everything about who he thought I was and nothing about who I am. Meanwhile, some guy in a cheap suit breezes by with a bag twice as big, and Mark just waves him through. Yeah, that happened. And I knew the game. I've played it too many times. But you pick your battles, right? So I fit my bag, no problem, but the little smirk on his face, the way he stamped my pass like he was sending me to the principal's office, that was my welcome aboard. You know what I mean when I say the air changes once you step on the plane? Like everyone's playing a part, and some people wear their power like a bad perfume. That was Brenda Miller, lead flight attendant, standing at the front with arms crossed, buns so tight it looked painful, lips painted sharp enough to cut. That bin's reserved. She snaps at me, won't even look in my eyes, and when I calmly point out it's empty, she drops her voice to this cold, whispery threat, tells me to find space in the back. There's a younger attendant, Chloe, trying to disappear into the background. But her eyes, yeah, she gets it. She just doesn't know how to help. So I do what I have to. I put my bag way back in row 25, even though I'm sitting in 12 Ksl, Economy Plus, the special zone that's supposed to mean something, and walk past the snickers and side glances. I'm simmering, not because I can't take a little inconvenience, but because I see what's happening and I know every line of the FAA regs better than anyone on this plane. It's not just about a bin, it's about humiliation, about putting someone in their place. I make a note on my phone: names, flight number, every detail, because this isn't my first rodeo, and I'm not about to let it slide. From there, it's a slow burn. Brenda ignores me during drink service, spills coffee on my tray without a word, doesn't even offer a napkin. Meanwhile, she's all smiles for everyone else. That's when Eleanor, this older woman across the aisle with the kind of teacher vibes that make you want to sit up straighter, leans over and hand me a napkin, says quietly, "Some people forget their manners in uniform." I could have hugged her right then, but Brenda's pettiness keeps coming, blocks the aisle with a trash bag, so I can't get up, makes these little comments under her breath to Chloe about people like her. After the third slight, I know it's time to escalate. I approach Brenda in the galley, lay out my complaint in the calmest voice I can muster, and she just laughs, tells me I can write a letter to corporate, calls me honey like I'm a child. I remind her that her first duty is to document complaints, and she just threatens to bring in the captain. "Please do," I tell her, my voice steady as steel, because I know the rules and I know she's just made her biggest mistake. Captain Sterling comes out of the cockpit, all swagger and years of "I'm in charge" etched into his face. He doesn't ask for my side, just backs up his crew, tells me to sit down, not another word, and that's it. His tone says I'm a problem, not a person, and I can see in his eyes that he's already decided who's right. But what nobody in that cabin realizes is I'm not just some random passenger IMDR. Evelyn Reed, Deputy Administrator of the FAA, and the moment that plane lands, the Real show begins. When we touch down in D.C., Brenda's strutting down the aisle, thinking she's won. Captain Sterling standing by the cockpit door ready for the applause, and I'm sitting there, waiting for the chaos to clear. I call my boss, Michael Whitaker, straight from my government-issued phone, spell out what happened, and by the time I hang up, the wheels are already turning. The entire crew is ordered to stay on the plane, the airport's FAA supervisor is on the way, and Chloe Jr., attending, her face goes white when she overhears my title. The panic is instant, spreading from her to Brenda to Sterling, who suddenly realizes he's not dealing with some difficult passenger. When we deplane, it's not the usual crowd at the jet bridge. It's David Chun, the station manager, looking like he's about to be fired, plus 2 federal agents. Inside the terminal, Brenda's in full meltdown, Chloe's crying, Sterling's trying to explain himself, but the FAA guys aren't having it. They separate the crew for interviews. Sterling's asked if he got my side, admits he didn't, and you can see the realization dawn. He's not the king of anything anymore. The investigation moves fast. Mark, the gate agent, is fired in 48 hours after CCTV shows exactly what happened. Brenda's personnel file reveals a decade of buried complaints, mostly from passengers of color never once taken seriously by Global Airways. Eleanor's statement is gold. Clear, detailed, and damning. Chloe tells the truth, gets a suspension, but a second chance. The Board of Inquiry? It's brutal. Brenda's career is NUCID certification revoked, blacklisted for life. Sterling's license suspended for 5 years, which at his age might as well be forever. The airline is fined $27.5 million, forced to rebuild their entire training and complaint system from the ground up, all under FAA oversight. The scandal hits the news. The CEO is dragged in front of Congress, the stock tanks, and within months he's out. And what about the echoes? Brenda's working at a discount store, bitterness eating her alive, a ghost haunting her old life. Sterling's managing car parts in his brother's warehouse, the silence of not flying louder than any engine he ever commanded. Chloe's rebuilt herself, new job overseas. Using what she learned to do, good she steps in when a junior crew member gets snippy with a confused couple, kneels down, helps, makes dignity the new standard. Me? I channeled it all into the fly with dignity, initiative, tougher rules, real consequences, and every time I look at my nephew in the Air and Space Museum, I know the fight was worth it, not for revenge, but for the promise of a better sky. Brenda and Sterling thought they were untouchable, but found out the hard way that accountability finds you even at 30,000 feet. So let me ask you, was the karma enough? What would you have done? Drop your thoughts below about justice, about what we owe each other at altitude or on the ground. If this story hit home, share it, hit like, and make sure you're here next time for more stories that prove the sky belongs to everyone. And sometimes, all it takes is one person who refuses to stay silent.